So, LCS Fantasy is back, and now they've made some pretty big changes. You can pick coaches alongside your players in your lineup. If you haven't heard this news, you can access the new LCS Fantasy at lcsofficial.gg. I'll have the link in the description down below as well. And set up your team anytime before January 24th, about an hour before the match starts. So let's talk about a couple of the changes that they've added, including the coaching change. Coaches now count as the average of their team's score, which I think is a very interesting way to do it. So, for example, say everyone on Shopify gets a score, they would add them all up, divide it by 5. That's the number of points that the Shopify coach Revan will give you that week. So, this kind of rewards consistency among players. It rewards choosing winning teams. And it is great for the variety buff if you want to just kind of throw in a coach from a different team that you don't really think the players are going to shine necessarily, but you do think that they're going to win. But this will be really interesting to see how this plays out. I don't think it's going to change too much besides, I get to pick a team that I think is going to win every week. That's not necessarily a team I want players from or maybe can afford players from. That's another big deal. If I want inspired, but I also think that Cloud9's going to win, maybe I can pick Cloud9's coach alongside inspired. And I think that is a pretty cool way to do it since we only have 100 points to spend. And then the second major change that they have for the LCS Fantasy this time around is the variety buff. We had a variety buff introduced in, I think, Split 2 last season for the LTA. But this one's pretty straightforward. It goes all the way up to 6 different teams that you can have different players or coaches from. And the more different teams you have, the more bonuses you get. I do think that the variety buff going up to 6 is kind of strange because if you're picking players or coaches from more than 4 teams, then at least one of them's going to lose. If I have 5 teams, there can only be 4 winners every week, which means that I am choosing one losing player. But if Inspired is going to get a good score and still lose, then maybe I can pick Inspired and get a higher variety bonus because I know that if nothing else, he's going to be consistent. I don't really see a world though where I'm going to pick any variety above 4. Like I'm not going to choose 5 or 6 different teams. Currently, I think I have 3. Um, so if you want to see my lineup, please stay tuned. I'm going to release a short later this week with the players that I've chosen and a little reasoning why. So keep an eye out.